And looks like we're live. All right, so sorry guys. We had some technical challenges, and it's so
Yeah.
interesting. Like everything we tried was not working, and everything worked yesterday perfectly fine. So I guess the universe didn't want us to share the message, but we got it. We got there, and I hope you guys can see us. I hope you guys can hear us fine, and put some comments below because Jessica and I will go for an hour. Sorry that you wasted that 20 minutes, but I hope it's going to be well worth it of your time. We're going to share some good ideas. We're going to share some, thoughts, what we have on the existing situation. And make sure if you have any comments, make sure to put the comments below. And feel free to share it. Feel free to start the watch party. Let as many people as possible to see this, because I think Jess and I will give you some good thoughts and good ideas, and it will be well worth of your time. All right, so here we are. As you probably know who I am Marina Worre, and Jessica Higdon. She is a rock star. She's an amazing woman. She is a mother. She is a wife, and she's a leader in our profession as well, together with her husband, Ray. They're generic trainers and bringing a lot of great value to the network marketing profession. So those of you who don't know Jessica, make sure you follow her and her husband. They're an amazing couple. And today, Jessica and I are going to have some fun. So, all right. Jess, let's start this
Well, thank you.
conversation and see what do you think is happening right now, the situation that we all live in, and how people inside of network marketing profession, how they can adjust or adapt to this. Because I've seen one really cool post that you did, that people, especially during this time, they're afraid how they can approach their friends and family and don't sound pushy and don't sound like they're going after, and they felt guilty by making a profit. And you made a long post about it. So can you please share some thoughts on that?
Yes, and first and foremost, let me just say that I am just honored to be on here with you. Eric and Marina are mentors of ours. We love all of their stuff, everything they do. The live day feed that they did with Tony Robbins, the GoPro live day that they did virtually was unbelievable, and it's just so awesome and honored to be on here. So with that being said, I did a long post about what's going on right now, and because I saw a lot of people in our space as well as out of our space chastising people for making money and chastising people for looking to make a profit during these times. And I think we both know that there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And where we see people doing it the right way is they're not being cavalier. They're not condemning people for not choosing network marketing or choosing a home business from the start. They're just asking people if they're open, they're sharing. And my post was essentially, look, our economy is in crazy times right now. We want you to make a profit. It is good for everyone when the mom next door, the single mom next door, your hairdresser, your delivery man, it is good for everyone around us to be making a profit right now because it helps our economy. And so the person that I buy my hair products from, the person that I buy my skincare from, the person that I purchase, my cleaning supplies from, I want each and every one of them, especially now, to make as much money as humanly possible, because that all circulates around and helps our economy and helps everyone involved. Recently, we were able to buy a bunch of masks and donate those to our local hospital. We wouldn't be able to do that without an income, without a profit, without money. And so essentially, my belief is there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And if you're making profit in the right way, profit is actually a very, very good thing that fuels the economy. And especially for what we do, as you know, we are helping people who really don't have an option right now. In fact, according to Google reports, people are Googling now 100 times more than they were in the past. Work from home, how to work from home, how to make money from home. So it's an opportunity. There's hope. there's a lot of people hurting and suffering right now, and we have to have compassion, but that does not mean that profit is not having compassion. Making money right now can actually be a very good thing. And that's just my take on it. I'm curious about your take as well, and how you look at this and view this as well.
And I so much agree with you, because it's important for everybody to realize, because the profit, that's what keeps the economy going. The profit for your employer allows him or her to pay your salaries. And this is the reason why I'm jumping on a lot of Zooms lately. For the last couple of weeks, I don't know, I did like over 100 Zooms for different teams around the world. And I'm seeing that this is kind of like one of the common questions that a lot of people ask me. Well, how do I approach people? How do I make sure that I'm not sounding pushy and everything else? And I'm explaining to everybody, first of all, I think the intent matters. I think that people gonna feel it. If you're acting out of your, of the desire, like as a hunter, like let me get you as a customer, let me get you as a distributor, they're gonna feel it and they will run away from you big time. And this is one of the reasons why I believe that our profession has a bad taste in the mouth for a lot of people, because even though we have sometimes a really good intent, we don't necessarily have the skills. And because we're so excited, we're that like little puppy running around and peeing in every corner, which means that we're just throwing a bunch of information on all these poor people, but not necessarily in the professional way, so they can feel respected, and they can feel like they're heard, their needs are met, and we are acting out of really good intention. So that's why I tell people, make sure that you lead with love, make sure that you lead with care, make sure that you lead with compassion and not with any agenda whatsoever, especially during this time. I mean, don't ever do that inside of our profession, because that portrays us as hunters, as somebody who's trying to get something for nothing or take advantage of people. That's not who we are. But especially during this time, because people are hurting. I mentioned on the live that we did a couple days ago with Eric that we live in Las Vegas, and as you guys probably know, majority of the people in Las Vegas are, the businesses that we have are casinos, nightclubs, restaurants, hotels, all of those entertainment businesses or hospitality businesses, they all shut down right now. So all these people are hurting. Over 50% unemployment just in Vegas alone. It's horrible. But guess what? Right now, taking advantage of those people is probably the worst thing you can do. But sharing the opportunity with these people is the best thing you can do. And sharing it in a professional way, sharing it with compassion. And that leads me to the next comment, that don't overstate your product. Don't overstate your opportunity, because I'm seeing, especially for different companies who are in the wellness and health business, basically saying like, oh my gosh, my product cures this. It's gonna cure cancer. It's gonna cure COVID-19. Please don't do that, okay? That's not good, not for you as a leader, not for your company. That's not truthful statement, but you can show them how your product can benefit and how it supports their health or well-being or whatever it might be. At the same time, same goes with the opportunity. Don't promise people that they can substitute their lost income overnight, just like that. It's not gonna happen. Don't tell them that they're gonna become 6 and 7 figure earners by tomorrow. It's not gonna happen. But what you can do, you can tell them, it's like, hey, I can show you how you can make $200, $300, $500 in the next several days by just basically buying my product at the wholesale, retailing that product to your friends and family or whatever customers you have, and make that little profit. And that's how you can make that little extra cash that everybody needs right now, because people are not looking to become millionaires tomorrow. They're not looking to make big 6 and 7 figure incomes right now. They're looking for a little extra cash that will help them get groceries, that will help them pay their mortgage, that will help them to go through this difficult time. And then you can explain to them, hey, if later on you decide, or even now, if you want to make a decision to make that a career, to use that as your vehicle moving forward, then I can show you how with the time you can develop the skills necessary, you can develop the mindset necessary, and you can build this income over time. But it's not going to happen overnight. So when people go into your opportunity with open eyes, I think they will be so much better off, because our job in the reality, what we do inside of network marketing, we educating people to the point that they understand what we have. And then it's up to them to make a decision. I truly believe that inside of network marketing, we have the gift. We have this amazing and beautiful opportunity that either through our products or our financial compensation plan, people can either change their health, well-being, or whatever the service we're providing inside of our products, but they also can increase and improve their financial being of the family. So just make sure that you're being honest with people, and make sure that you act with no agenda. And always remember, it's up to them to make a decision. Your job is to help them understand what we have, and then it's totally their decision, totally their thing. So when you detach yourself out of the result, it doesn't matter. You just be a friend, be a person who truly cares about them and truly wants to help in this uncertain time or any other time. And then people, I don't think that they will feel the pressure, or I don't think that you will be judged, because people will feel that you truly care about them.
And it's interesting in these times as well, these aren't remarkable statements that we're making that are just brand new and things that you should just be following now. I mean, I fully believe that this pandemic will make you an unstoppable home business owner, because you'll learn the right ways. If you've done it wrong in the past, don't beat yourself up. If you've done it right in the past, you'll just have better results now. But this is the time where you can do the right things, have the right energy and the right approach. And this is something that shouldn't just follow you through in this pandemic, but should go forward with every approach that you take when we're even out of this and when the economy is back to normal. And these are the things that you should be doing no matter what. So I believe that there will be people who come out of this even stronger than ever, because they adapt. They learn, they focus on what's needed, like you were talking about compassion and caring and working with people where they're at, which is huge, because a lot of people right now, I'm telling you right now, they can't pay their electric bill next month. They can't feed their kids. And so their mind is in panic mode. Their mind is in panic mode. And so if you can meet them where they're at in that panic mode, you'll see that you'll get a much better response than just saying, hey, you should have been doing this. You should have been taking my product. It cures COVID-19. I mean, all things that you should never be saying ever about anything. And so I feel like we're on the brink of something huge. And some of the big companies that we were talking to actually mentioned that they were looking at their books and seeing when a majority of their top income earners came in. When do you think they came in? It was right after the 08 crash. 08, 09, 2010, these companies are saying they've seen not all, but some of their top earners come in right after that crash. And so I believe that we will come through this stronger, but like Marina was sharing, you have to have the right approach. You can't be cavalier. You can't say that, we're the best and you're wrong. Nobody is going to respond to that. And that's not what people need right now. So I love that.
So and it's actually true, because a lot of like 50% of Fortune 500 companies came out of the situations like this, out of the situation of distress. When people are looking for opportunities, I understand it's a natural desire for a majority of the people just go hiding, put their head in the sand and just cross their fingers and hope for the best. I keep hearing that song in my head over and over that says, wake me up when it's all over. So sometimes I want to wake up when it's all over, but at the same time, I understand that as a leader in a profession, I have the responsibility. As a CEO of the company, I have the responsibility to my employees. And as a person, as a human being, I have responsibility to myself personally and to my kids, because they watching how we leading through these times, and they're paying attention, and that shows them as an example how they will lead once they're faced with the challenges and difficult situations. So understand that during challenging times like this, that's when the leaders are born. That's what the majority of the businesses will be born, because we have different needs, we have different problems that the whole society around the world is facing right now, and somebody will come up with different solutions to fill those needs. So inside of network marketing right now, especially when the majority of the people either fired or were sent home, and they're forced to do something from home, and they don't necessarily know what it is, they don't understand, maybe they never heard of network marketing, and or maybe they did, but not necessarily in a professional way, and they had that stigma in their head. So now is a really good chance and the opportunity for us to explain it in a professional way and help those people to see what we can do, how we can help them and build this business from home. Because now they're looking, like Jessica said, there is way more searches on Google of network marketing or home-based business. So people are looking. So if we take this opportunity seriously to serve people, not take advantage of them, but to actually serve, we as a profession gonna be so much better off, because with all of our corporate clients, or just by, like I said, jumping on different Zoom for different teams, I keep hearing that their businesses is growing. They're having the best month. Their retail of their products is skyrocketing. People are rank advancing, and that shows that people are open more than ever before to take a serious look into network marketing. I want to switch gears a little bit with you, Jessica, and ask you, because we Network Marketing Pro, we are a business, right? You guys are a business as well. We're for-profit organizations. So I want to know, how are you guys reacting to the challenging different times as the business owners? I see what you guys are doing as leaders in the profession, but what are you doing as business owners? And I'll tell you what Eric and I did. First of all, we recognize that this situation is not going to be forever, and we will come out of this pandemic way stronger and more powerful than ever before. And I understand that I need my team. I need the people who help me to jump on lives like this and do different cool things and bring more value to the profession. So of course, we kind of like, as soon as it all started, we took a look into the seriousness of what's happening with our income, what are our expenses, and what we need to adjust and what we can do as an organization to make sure that our business stays afloat and we winter this storm. And one of the things that we decided to do, we didn't want to fire anybody, but we had to adjust the salaries across the board, because those are like my biggest expenses, the wages to my team. So we had a conversation with the team. We explained why we're doing it, because I feel the responsibility to all different families that we employ. And that's why, like I said, we cut the salaries across the board. And here's one of the things that I want you guys to understand. And Jessica will provide what they're doing as a team, but understand that most of you, not most of you, all of you, by being independent distributors, you don't have challenges like we do have as business owners. You don't have the wages, you are not paying those commissions, you're not shipping those products, you don't have to worry about producing them, shipping them, warehousing them, taking care of the legal, taking care of all the permits, taking care of all those different things the typical business owner have to do. And all you need to bring is your passion, your excitement, your willingness to work hard, and like Eric says, it sweat equity, and you have unlimited upside of any entrepreneur, but without any downside, without any overhead that typical business has. So first of all, I want you to understand what an amazing opportunity you have, but also when you go and talk to other people, explain to them, I understand that inside of the gig economy, everybody is looking for extra ways to make some cash. You can see it with Ubers, Airbnbs, and every other pieces of gig economy where people more open to be part of something else and to have a secondary income stream. But understand that majority of the businesses have to have some kind of a downside, some kind of a overhead or whatever it is in order to make some money. Inside of our profession, you don't have that. You have unlimited upside of the entire entrepreneurship without any downside. So Jessica, what are you guys doing as an organization, as a company to winter this storm?
Well, one thing that I love about you and Eric is you're always so transparent, and I'm so glad that you shared that, because not only are there network marketers on here, but there's network marketers who are also traditional business owners. And Marina, I want to make sure that you can still see and hear me. Can you still see and hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. The screen just changed for a minute. And I want to make a note about a point you mentioned, and I'll share a little bit about what we're doing as well. So you mentioned about how there's a lot of people out there who haven't heard of network marketing or don't understand it in the right way. And I will tell you, because we're immersed in this profession, so many people think that everybody knows what it is. And that is not the case. When I say network marketing, or people ask us what we do, and I say, oh, we're network marketing trainers or MLM trainers, many of them say, what is that? What is network marketing? And I have to explain it to them. And so I think just assuming that people, they already know, they already understand, is a huge mistake. And just like what Marina said, there are so many people out there right now who are looking for something, but they can't afford to put out thousands of dollars for a traditional business like we have. They can't afford the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in overhead. They just can't afford it. But network marketing is such an easy transition for someone who is going through something like this to somebody who needs to start working from home, being their own boss, creating their own hours. It's a very simple, easy, low cost, low overhead, low risk option. So I just want to make that distinction, and just to hammer that point home of what we've had to do. It's the same exact thing. You know, our people, just like with GoPro, Network Marketing Pro at the Higdon Group, our people are our number one. So we're looking at expenses. We're looking at where can we eliminate those expenses just in the short term to see how this is going to play out, so that we can keep our people. And so there were some that graciously, I love our team so much, because so many of them, when we started going through this, actually volunteered to take a pay cut to make the company healthier and make sure that we, got through this even stronger than ever. And so we had a lot of people volunteer to take a pay cut, which was amazing. And those that we did take a pay cut, some we had to let go for the time being. And through this, our plan is those that graciously took that pay cut or we let go, we're actually going to give those bonuses after, we see what happens here and we run the numbers and make sure that things are good to go. And I fully know that this is a short-term solution, but not only focusing on the expenses, which is something that a lot of business owners do immediately, that the first thing they tend to cut is marketing, which is a huge mistake. That's the first thing they tend to cut. You have to look at other options to make money as well. So if you focus 20% on the expenses, on the overhead, on those things, but you focus 80% on where can I bring in additional value, where can I create more money, where can I turn this into an opportunity, versus just focusing on the negative, focusing on the solution is what's going to pull you through and have you come out of this stronger, versus just focusing on, the problem, which is expenses. And Marina and I, Eric and Ray, are very blessed and lucky. And you all listening on this call who are in network marketing, or anybody in the profession, is extremely lucky right now, because you can make this a digital business. I know many companies out there that are literally bringing in $0 right now, because they have not made the transition. And you talk about the gig economy, they haven't made the transition from traditional to more of a digital online social media type business. And it's really hurting them because they depend on that foot traffic. They depend on those sales. So the fact that you have this opportunity with so many different strategies and ways right now, social media included, to make money is a big deal. And I hope that you take advantage of that. And I don't mean take advantage of people. I mean, take advantage of that opportunity. You deserve it. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, you deserve to make a profit. You earned it. You owe it to yourself and to your family and to this economy to go out there and make a profit. So I think it's such a good question. And Marina, I have a question for you. Unless you want to add on to that point, because it's kind of switching gears, but something I'd love to know.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on it that first of all, yes, you're so right, because we're really lucky that we can adjust and adapt to the existing circumstances, and that's what entrepreneurs do. We adapt to what is happening in the world and switching gears to go more online. And yes, I absolutely love our live events, but till the time being that when we can all safely gather together, we have to come up with different ways to communicate with people, to bring you value, to bring you some good content. That's why we're doing like different online events and stuff like this. But one of the things when you were talking about the expenses, I wanted to make sure that everybody understands that cutting expenses right now as a family, as a household, as a business owner is very important. Just take a look at what exactly you're cutting, but also make sure you understand that you are not cutting on your personal development, because with all different expenses that we cut out, this is one we kept, because in order for me to come and help you and inspire you and to bring you some good ideas, I need to have somebody who can help and feed my mind with the positive thoughts, because all even strong people right now going through challenging times, we just kind of like we exposed to the fear or anxiety for a short time, and then our personal development kicks in, and our certainty and our power kind of like kicks in and helps us and puts us back on track. But for a lot of people who are not necessarily exposed to personal development as much as we do, it's so important to be connected with people who feed your mind with the positive information, who help you to develop the skills that you need in order to come out of this winter much stronger than ever before. Somebody who's pushing you out of your comfort zone. So it's a really big deal, and it's important for everybody to understand that at the end of the day, you are the business, and you need to continue to invest in you as a business so you can grow, so you can come out of this challenging time stronger and more powerful than ever before, because they're going to be winners and they're going to be losers, and it's up to you based on what are you doing right now during this winter season. Even though it's a spring on a calendar, we are in the winter season, but what you will have when that spring actually comes will be determined by your actions right now. So make sure you don't hide from the opportunity to become better, to become stronger, to expand your vision, to expand your mind, so you can lead more powerful and expand your business. And you need to start doing it right away.
Yeah, absolutely. 150 million %. It's so true. And I just wanted to ask you and get real for a minute, because I think people would appreciate this. And I have no idea if Marina goes through this or Eric goes through this, just something that we go through. And I'm curious on your end. You know, I know that in network marketing, it's a simple business, but it's not an easy business at times. And we, you know, there's times where you look and you say, oh, you get so frustrated, right? And for us, as I guess you could say traditional business owners at this point, there are times where Ray and I we are so driven by the message and the impact of people, but then you get so bogged down in the day-to-day and the just everything going on with the business. And our business is so much more complicated than just a network marketing business that we say, oh my gosh, had we known what we were in for I don't know if we would have started a traditional business. Like, had we known, like, there are days where we just do not want to do it. And because of our vision, we show up anyway. Right. And so I was just curious on between you and Eric and everything that you guys do. I mean, you put out so much value. You just came up with this GoPro World Tour. You do so much. Are there days, and even right now, like with everything going on, are there days where you just want to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm not doing this today? And how do you get through that and get on the other side of that?
Yeah, it's an excellent question, Jessica, because here's the thing: we're all humans. You know, none of us is a superwoman and superman, even though we try to look, you know, strong and powerful. I think that I will speak for myself. I definitely have sometimes down days when not that long ago, way before the whole pandemic started, I had some challenges in my life and I could not cope with them. You know, like the situation hit me so hard that I was in such a overwhelm emotionally that I was ready to rip off my hair, you know, and some of you potentially saw it. I did the live on, I have a page called The Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. It's a closed group, but I did a live there and I've been bawling that live, you know, crying and talking to people, and they show me raw and for real, just seeing that even strong people have tough days. Even the most amazing, powerful guys and girls have the need to have a stronger shoulder that they can lean on. And that's why I'm saying it's so important who you associate yourself with, because those are the people who can give you that shoulder. Those are the people who can speak in you the words of encouragement. Those are the people who can, you know, look you in the eye and say, I got you, I love you, I care about you, we're gonna go through this together. So those are the things that are really important to understand, that none of us is perfect and none of us has like some fancy ammunition against challenges and obstacles and mistakes we make on a daily basis. It just, I think the difference is how we react to it, because, you know, I had my weak moment. I had to sob for a bit. I had to kind of like, you know, let it all out. But then I had to pull myself back together and say, I got this. Here's the thing. It's not about the resources in our life. It's about being resourceful. So whatever challenges I was facing, I said, okay, I got this. I'll figure out the way to solve that problem. And you all have the ability to solve whatever problems you're facing, because, you know, as long as you have the mentality, as long as you have the drive to push through, to go forward, and sometimes you don't. That's why you need people by your side, and it can be your spouse, it can be sometimes your kids be your motivation, it can be some external reasons be your motivation, or it's just a friend or accountability partner. So I think in network marketing we're so blessed because we have the community, because we have the ability to, you know, call our teammates or call our sponsor and say, hey, I have this challenge, can you help me solve it, or can you push me? Or when you see me being stale or paralyzed with fear, you have my permission to kick me in the butt in a loving way and help me to come out and break through those obstacles and challenges. Just understand that we all do have those moments, and that's okay to have them. It's not okay to stay in them. You have to come out of that situation one way or the other. So make sure that you're not embarrassed to pick up that phone. I know sometimes it weighs thousands of pounds, but don't be embarrassed to talk to your spouse and tell and show your raw emotions and feelings. And but that's, you have to have the trust, you know, built first with some people that you can trust them to help you come out of the situation. So yeah, I don't know if it answered your question, but yes, we do emotional roller coasters.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I think so many look at you and Eric and they say, oh, they have no problems, life is amazing all the time, and you know, they never run into obstacles. And some people do that for us as well, not as much as you guys, but they look at us and think, oh, they don't have any problems. And it's like, no, we deal with problems every single day. And let me tell you, between our two businesses, we deal with many more obstacles in business probably than you will ever have to face, which is a great thing for you. But I'm glad you brought up mentorship, because it gets us through, right? That's the one area where we will always, always, always have mentorship, have coaches, listen to personal development. We will always have that in our lives because it absolutely, gets us through and not just gets you through to survive, but to thrive, right? To come out way ahead. So I was curious about that. And you mentioned your spouse and kids and how they can be motivators, but to be honest, like sometimes I feel like kids are demotivators because they are like just, oh my gosh, my daughter is constant. Like she is going to rule the world someday. Like I am convinced that she will be, if we don't have a female president by the time she's old enough, she's probably going to be it. But she is constant. And I know with Dominic, he's loving this being home from school and the homeschooling. And so it's thrown a whole new dynamic into working from home. And I'll just share how I deal with it. And I really want to know how you deal with it as a mom and powerhouse and CEO of GoPro. But we have help. We're blessed to have help. I know it's hard right now with, family members are staying away, like our older parents and grandparents are staying away. So we don't have that help, but we have a lot of couples that just work it out between them and their spouse of, hey, can I just get this hour in the morning? Can I just get this hour at night to do what I need to do? And just be flexible with yourself in this time. And as long as you do something every day, it doesn't have to be an 8-hour day right now, okay? But do something towards your business. And even Ray and I are taking that stance. As long as we do something that's a big mover. So for a network marketer, it may be, okay, I'm going to hit my numbers today, no matter what. And if that's in a 30-minute time frame or I have an hour, I'm going to figure out what those numbers are, but I'm going to hit those numbers. And for us, it's, interviews like this or reaching out to some big players or big companies or whatever that may be. We're at least going to do something towards our business, not nothing, but we're going to be flexible with ourselves too, because we have 2 little kids at home. We've got the 2 older boys home from college. We work from home. We're driving each other nuts. My daughter's constant. I've got the bounce house literally blown up in the living room, no joke, along with the trampoline, along with the pool. So that's kind of how we're dealing with it. And just curious for you too, as a mom, what you're doing and between not just a mom, but a wife too. I mean, a wife, and you've got all the responsibilities, that beautiful new house you just built. So.
Yeah, and before I answer this, because I think it's talking about kids and the relationship in the home is a really important topic. So for all of you guys, I'm seeing the chat roll, it's blowing up. So many of you commenting, which is amazing. And make sure if you're getting the value from this, click the share button. Once you click the share, you will see the ability to start the watch party. Do that so more people can see it. I hope you're getting value from this. I'm getting a lot of value from what Jessica is saying. So I would like to see way more people receiving this message and being encouraged and get some good ideas how they can go through this winter, and we can do it all together. So give us some love, give us some comments, whatever you guys think, and share if you would like for other people to see it. But go back to the conversation about kids. It's so interesting because because of my event and because I think I'm viewed as an advocate for women inside of our profession. One of the questions that I'm constantly asked is like, oh, how do you deal with the mom's guilt or all this stuff? You know what's interesting? Nobody is asking me about mom's guilt right now during this time. We have our kids right now. more than we truly wanted to have them, okay? Because they're back from school, they're sitting at home, they're sometimes going and doing online classes or not. Right now, they're technically on a spring break, at least my son is. So, I mean, it's like, like
joke.
He was
Spring
not
break.
in the spring break for the last two weeks already, or 3 weeks,
right.
you know? But here's the thing, you know, so, and I'm seeing all the different memes on Facebook and different social medias. Moms are saying like, oh my gosh, teachers are so underpaid. Can you please take my kids back to school? You know, so nobody's talking about mom guilt anymore. But here's the truth, you know, in all honesty, I think that right now, when the time changed so drastically, the situation changed so drastically for a lot of people, is it's important to divide your day in different chunks. And the chunk where you, like Jessica said, when you do the work, when you talk to your customers, when you talk to the prospects, when you talk to whatever parts of the business you offer, your network marketing, make sure you talk to people all the time and keep those conversations going. But remember that there has to be some time that you need to dedicate to your business, and then there has to be some time when you need to dedicate to your kids. And for us, we have 5 amazing children, but they all pretty much live everywhere around the world. And Dominic is the youngest, the only one who is staying home, and he's 14. So what I'm doing with him is, I know that when he has those online classes, first of all, I try to do like sometimes we do breakfast together, or we cook together, or something like this. And he is very interested in the whole business environment. So we talk a lot about what am I doing as a leader in the profession, why I'm jumping on all these calls, what I'm doing as a business owner, because I have different responsibilities there. So I'm explaining him why we did what we did, and why you know, certain actions were necessary, and how we adjusting or adapting to the existing circumstances. And I'm also explaining him what is happening in the world, what is happening with the stock market, because, you know, the funny story is he's going to be driving in a couple of years, gosh, less than that, but he wants a fancy car, right? So he has a very shy taste. He wants Tesla. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to give you enough money for Tesla. I mean, it's way too expensive, especially as a first car. But I'll give you a certain amount of money, and I can show you the way how you can make up the difference. So I'm teaching him different ways how he can make up that difference, either through different chores, of course, good grades and stuff like this. One of the things that it's actually Eric's brilliant idea, and we told him that every time we travel as a family, or if we're going to different business trips and he's flying with us, and we're going overseas, we're flying first class or business class, and he has a choice. He can fly in coach, and instead of paying that difference to the airline, I'll put the difference on his account. But he has to sacrifice the comfort for those 10, 12 hours of the flight. And every single time he chooses to sit in coach. Of course, as moms, like, my heart is kind of like, oh my gosh, he's sitting in the back of the plane, my poor little thing. But at the same time, I think it's teaching him really good, important life lessons. And he is earning certain amount of money towards his car. So he is, in my opinion, working towards his dream. He's making those sacrifices towards his dream, and I'm perfectly cool with that. So of course, then we went to kind of like, you know, window shop Teslas, and we looked at the cars, we test drove it. He's like over the moon excited. So I told him, like, hey, and please understand, I'm not giving you any investment advices right now, okay? I'm just telling you what we did. But obviously now the timing, you will realize that the timing of that idea was really bad. So we bought Tesla stock right before the whole pandemic happened. So like we bought it almost at the peak, and now it's shattering down. So of course, like him not understanding what's happening, he's like, oh my gosh, my stock, my money, like everything I had saved, you know, now it's going down the drain. And I'm explaining to him why it's happening, what are the reasons why the market is down, and how it's gonna come out, and it's all gonna be fine. So I'm teaching him all of these different principles. So I think it's such important for all of us as parents to understand. First of all, we teach our kids through our actions. How we act right now during these challenging times is the perfect lesson is the perfect teacher for them. So make sure you constantly remember that they're watching. They're watching way more than you think. On the other side is spending quality time. Is that what matters? Because we all think, especially, I think that's what the mom guilt kicks in when we, when we feel like we're working, we're on our computer, we're on our phone doing something, and kids are playing right next to you. You feel like you're spending time with your kids. No, you don't. They're just hanging out next to you while you're busy doing other things. In my opinion, kids need quality time, and not just kids. They want to see the time that you actually talk to them, undivided attention, do something that it's fun for both of you, or whatever amount of kids that you have, do some kind of like family activities when they feel hurt, when they feel that they got a little bit of mama daddy time. But then trust me, they don't want to spend 24/7 with you. They just gone. They're just bored with us. So understand that. Just give them that quality time necessary, and they will be so happy, and they will go on their own thing. And the same thing with our spouses, because right now, for us, nothing really changed, except we don't travel as much, because Eric and I have been building the business from home for decades. And so we spend a lot of time together regardless of pandemic or not. But I think it's important I do my work, he does his work, and then we talk and do certain things that you guys love to do together as a couple. Finding those common interests is important for a healthy relationship, in my opinion. But I think one of the reasons why Eric and I are working so well together, because we built that relationship based on the trust and respect. And it hasn't been since day one, because we coming from different cultures. I was born and raised in a communist country. He's coming from the capitalism world. In my country, it's not necessary. People used to smile all the time. And like one of the funny stories is when I just moved to States, that was like 12 years ago. And Eric and I we were walking around the lake, and there are people jogging, people walking, and he says hi to everybody. And I was like, do you know all these people? He's like, no. I was like, then why you say hi to all of them? So just so you guys understand the mentality, right? That my culture was, the way I was born and raised is different than his. I'm not saying one better, one worse. It's just different. So it took us time to understand each other. It took us time to build a communication to the point that he's not afraid to say anything to me, and I'm not afraid to say anything to him. And we trust and respect each other. So this is one of the reasons that I'm hearing right now a lot of couples like, oh, because of this pandemic, they're spending so much time, and now a bunch of people filing for divorce. I think one of the reasons is because we were so busy running and gunning, we forgot to pay attention to what is truly important to all of us, our family, our kids, our spouses, our loved ones. So use this time to, build that relationship. Use this time to recover that trust. Use this time to over communicate and get back to the ground zero if you have to, and start building that relationship from scratch if you have to. But in my opinion, the most important parts is communication, over communication. Don't think, because I think one of the biggest mistakes that we do as couples is we assume. Gosh, we assume so much, especially women. We think our man know exactly what we're thinking. And trust me, in my personal head, it's like a fireworks. It's like a 4th of July all the time. They cannot keep up with that. They just don't. And every time I talk to Eric, he's like, I understand, babe, we're simple creatures, okay? I understand that you're running 1,000,000 miles an hour, but take a little breather. I cannot keep up with you. So understanding that just because you think your spouse knows what you feel, just because you think you know what are their fears and hopes and dreams, that's not necessarily the case. Make sure to over communicate, especially during these times, more than ever before, and start building that relationship based on the foundation of trust and respect. And Jessica, I want to ask you that same question. I know that you guys have been working 24/7 for a long time. You live together, you work together. How are you guys managing the whole couple dynamic, and what advice you have for everybody who is watching and questioning how they can do better as a couple?
Well, inside I'm laughing because just yesterday we got into this tiff about a video and it was kind of funny, and I'll share that. But we just to go back to what you said about kids, I and the communication part, not only for your spouse but for your kids. I have little kids, but I'm still sharing with them what's going on with this pandemic. And I love that you're being open and sharing with them why the stock market's going down, and then it will come through. These are all life lessons that they understand. And I think we sometimes take for granted how smart they really are and how much they actually absorb. So with my 4-year-old, I'm sharing with her that there's a virus and people are scared, and here's why people are scared, and here's how social media is, amplifying that uncertainty. And here's what you can control. You can control your emotions. You can control this. You can control that. Just like all those things you mentioned. So I just love that point. And as far as working with your spouse, we're not perfect at it. I mean, we just yesterday, we were doing this video and we're recording, and we have to record a script. And I personally, when I record like a pre-recorded video, not a live, I love a teleprompter. I don't know, just me, I can flow with it. I'm good at it. And he just cannot stand the thing. And so we're going back and forth and we're arguing, and I'm really frustrated because I had to do my hair and makeup just like I did today. Okay. I had to do my hair and makeup. I had to get all ready. He's like, yes, we're doing this video at this time, so make sure you're ready. I'm like, okay. So I do everything, and the kids are going to be, I'm going to have the kids here in the next 30 minutes where I have to make the meals and everything like that. And it doesn't compute all the things that we have to manage as women. It didn't compute to him that I have to be with the kids on this video. I have to do this, I have to do that. And so we were going back and forth, and he's taking his time, trying to read everything, trying to do this with the video, trying to do that. And I'm like getting frustrated. I'm like, come on, dude, I've got 50 things that I've got to take care of with the house and the kids. And so we got into it. And at the end of the day, just like you shared, it was all about communication and just sitting down, relaxing, and being like, look, this is why I'm frustrated, because you don't understand the things as a woman that I have to deal with. I have to manage all these different things. He's like, well, this is why I'm frustrated, because you made me feel this way, and I'm just trying to do my thing. And so we always talk about getting uncomfortable in your business, right? You have to be uncomfortable. You have to take risks. You have to ask for the sale, all those things of being uncomfortable. And nobody really ever talks about, except you just did, Marina, but being uncomfortable in your relationship and having that uncomfortable communication in all relationships, your friends, your kids, your spouse. And it's important to sometimes get uncomfortable, be the bigger person, let go of being right, because that'll kill a relationship, and just have that communication. And I saw another stat that was horrifying, not just the one about unemployment, but there's domestic violence that's going through the roof right now. And that's not okay. And so it's important to just take a breather. And if you have to have your space as a couple, I highly recommend that as well. Sometimes, there are days where we're working in the same house, and I'm sure it's the same for you and Eric. We're working in the same house, but I don't talk to Ray all day. Like, I might say hi, I might give him a kiss, say I love you, but I don't talk to him all day. He's got his space for work and I've got mine. And then we come together at night for dinner. We make that family time. We make that quality time. And I will also say that I believe that there's a dynamic of a couple that shouldn't work together. And so and for the most part, who you are, you tend to work together, and it never turns out okay, it never works, then don't work together. There's a certain couple that should not be working together. Most of us can do it, but some just can't, and that's okay. And I've seen relationships where they do completely different things. Like if you're in network marketing and your husband or wife is, in real estate, or they do completely different things, and they come out on top. And there's couples that work the business together, do very, very well, and they come out on top. So I think you have to do what's best for you and your family, but nobody's perfect. And the key is absolutely 100% communication, and sometimes that uncomfortable communication and letting go of being right, for sure.
I think that one of the key concepts also is, like you said, let go of being right, because here's the thing, you cannot win all the battles. And especially inside of the family dynamic, when somebody wants to be right just for the sake of being right, or for them to have their word to be lost, that's going to destroy the relationship. And just understand that you cannot win all the battles, and some of those should be worth fighting, and some of them probably not. That's the same way how Eric and I view our business relationship as well, because we're both very strong people with very strong ideas and thoughts, and the way we communicate them. So sometimes he says like, oh, I want to do it because I said so, because whatever. And I was like, nah, buddy, that's not going to work, because I said so is not an explanation. And that's why one of those things I never tell my kids, you have to do this because I said so. I'm always trying to explain to them what is my thinking behind what I'm saying. And that's the way we learn, Eric and I, to communicate. He says like, hey, I think this would be the better way to do it because this and this and this, and gives me his reasoning. And then I say, no, I disagree with you, and this is my reasoning. And sometimes either I'm giving up to him because it's not a big hill for me to die on, and sometimes he's giving back to me in a way that, okay, if that's so important to you, let it be that your way. So understanding that it's kind of like a dance all the time. You have to understand that sometimes you're gonna give some right to be right, and sometimes you're gonna have it back. But also, I think the reason why a lot of the relationships don't work is because we try to fix somebody, or we try to make them different, or if we don't like certain characteristics, then we try to fix them right away. Well, in my opinion, I don't think you can change a person. I just don't think so. You can influence a positive change if you have the trust and respect of that person, and then slowly through like your guidance and explanation why you think it would be better for them and for you as a family unit, then yes. But if you tell them it's like, oh, you have to do this, you have to join network marketing, you have to quit your real estate business, or you have to start building with me, that's not going to work, because nobody have to do anything. They will do whatever is best for them, and they can do it in the way they think is best. So I think having that open communication line inside of the family, and be okay if your spouse doesn't want to build network marketing business with you, be okay with that. That's like, not everybody gonna be network marketers. It's totally cool. Just make sure that you have the respect for what each of you is doing, and be supportive in those ventures. Because if you don't want to do a network marketing with me, that's fine, but I need your support in what I'm doing. And the same way, I'm going to give you my support in whatever you're doing, so you feel supported and you feel appreciated and not being tolerated. And I think another important thing in a relationship is to remember that we all have different strengths and talents. I'm sure, Jessica, you have the same thing with Ray. When one of you is way more organized and can like get things done, and another one of you is more of a visionary. At least that's what it is for us. Eric is like, he is a mad genius, I call him sometime, so he's like all of those amazing and creative people. He is absolutely not a person of organization. He cannot, like, that drives me and my team crazy, because he will give us some insight or ideas of what he's trying to do last minute, and the whole team has to scramble last minute. It's like, oh my gosh, we're doing this live and nobody knows what the heck we're doing and what the heck is happening and how it's gonna go, but he has his creative genius in it. So understanding that that's his role, and my role, I have an unofficial title in our company, and forgive me guys for my French, but my job title is get shit done girl. Okay, and I have, my daughter has the same job title, so both of us, I'm just doing it a little higher level, and she's helping me to get what I need to get done. So understanding that different people have different talents, different people have different skill set, and that's okay to first of all recognize it, and then divide those responsibilities based on what do you do best, instead of trying to force somebody to change and start doing better something that they're not normally used to do.
Yeah, you can't nag someone into change. That's for sure. So I love that you brought up that point. And I think there's an underlying idea here when it comes to working as a spouse that I'll just mention. And I know that you both are big fans of this because of your work with Tony Robbins, but there's the female energy and the masculine energy. And both can be powerhouses, both can be very firm, both can, have big vision and see what you want to see. But there is a balance between that masculine and feminine energy that's very powerful. And I see a lot of women that are sometimes losing that. They're losing that feminine energy in a world that promotes such masculine energy all of the time. And, you may be listening to this and not agree with me on that, but one thing that definitely works for us is, and that's not being submissive. That's not being, that you just say whatever, or you just do whatever your husband says. That is the total opposite of what we're talking about here. Feminine energy is extremely powerful, but it's the balance of being a wife and mom and also bringing that into the business, which for me, and it sounds like for you too, Marina, takes massive organizational skills. So we have to rein everybody in. I love that quote from, what is it, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the man's the head, but the wife is the neck, and she can turn the head any way that she wants, right? So for us, that balance of energy really, really works. And I don't think it would work if Ray wasn't such a supportive and loving spouse and husband. It doesn't work if your husband or wife is nagging, putting you down, doesn't support you, wants all the spotlight, wants to be the one in the front and in the center stage. That doesn't work. It's a compromise of, you giving a little and him giving a little. It's a constant compromise. And so I love what you mentioned about that, and about how you're like more organizational and he is like just visionary genius and throw it at the wall, see what sticks, and just do it. And I love that. And that's definitely Ray and I's relationship as well. And I think it comes from a deeper space of also that feminine masculine energy. I have to be more organizational. Not that I enjoy being organizational all the time, but I have to, given what's on my plate. So I love that.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
It's really cool. It's so funny when you said that from the Greek wedding is I have a different saying: behind every powerful guy there is a powerful woman rolling her eyes all the time. So
right.
But I think that the key point for everybody to understand is, and I think you need to be fairly wise person to recognize that in order for a guy to have a powerful wife, that does not diminish his light. And the same thing for a powerful lady. In order for her to be her own woman and to step into her true potential and to shine her light as bright as she possibly can, that does not mean that it's going to take away from her spouse or dim his light. So understanding that you being the best you should not jeopardize anybody's else light or dim their light. And I think both spouses need to be aware and recognize that and be respectful of that and not feel threatened that, oh my gosh, if she's doing a little bit better than me, or if she's more famous than me, or if she's making more money than me, because that's one of the dynamics that I'm seeing right now inside of network marketing, especially when we have so many companies, because of their product, they are female driven mostly, and most of the representation of that company is just women, and the roles in those families flipped, because now the woman is a breadwinner and the guys are kind of like trying to find their place. It's like now home stay dead, that's kind of like weird and unusual. But I think it's important to understand that stigma that we all grew up in, that you as a woman, your job is to wash dishes and do the laundry and to raise the kids, and my job as a man to bring the money to the table. In today's world, things are shifted so drastically, and it doesn't matter who is bringing bread to the table, as long as you both support and recognize that and uplift each other up in whatever you do best, and just don't feel threatened by that. So I think it's a big deal to understand those things.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that can be misconstrued, right? It has nothing to do with who's making more money, although men do take that upon themselves as the way that they provide, right? They're ingrained in them to be providers, but that providing can be done in so many different ways other than just money. And it's a dynamic of being supportive on either side. And I see so many couples, as I'm sure you do too, in this space, that the woman is making more money, but you still see how well they work as a couple and how well they support each other. And it's about appreciation. It's about being grateful, especially now with everything going on, being grateful for the things that they do. And we always tell people every morning, write down, and we do this every morning, write down what you're grateful for. And you have to put, if you have a spouse or you have kids, you have to put a line in there about your spouse and kids, and start recognizing the things that you appreciate about them versus the things that, like you mentioned, you want to change. And so I think now that's more important more than ever to start that practice and implement that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to celebrate people that you love, and do it as much as you possibly can. Give them how much you love them. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much you appreciate them. Tell them, uplift their spirits as much as you can, because the same way we install the belief and the vision into our teams, it's the same thing, so important to install that vision and passion and love into our kids and to our loved ones. So Jessica, I know that we've been going for an hour, and I think that we can go for another few hours, but I want to be respectful of your time, and maybe if you have any closing thoughts to everybody who was watching us today, and maybe give them some ideas how they can go do well during these times, or whatever else you want to tell them.
Well, I think there's this big fear right now about spending money, like you mentioned earlier, about, where we're cutting expenses or we're investing more. And it's just more about being smart about where you spend that money. And people ask, the number one question we're getting right now, and I'll leave you guys with this, the number one question we're getting right now is, should we be spending money? And which I think is really interesting. Not should we be making money, but should we be spending money? And our answer is, if you're spending it in the right places. And so you can't go wrong. Remember, you cannot go wrong investing in yourself. And if you want to get more customers, if you want to get more reps, then you have to be a fantastic customer. You have to be a fantastic rep. And that doesn't mean being irresponsible with your money and going and buying a Lambo when you can't put food on the table, right? But it means when you do purchase a product, okay, or you do invest in a book or something that provides value to you to help you grow your mind, grow your business, control your life more financially. When you do that, then be a fantastic customer and actually do the work within that course, do the work within that book. Go and give praise to the person that you purchased that from. Go and tell them how much this has changed your life. Create a testimonial through that. And so I'll just end with that and saying that if you want more customers, if you want more reps, then become the best customer, the best rep. Do the things you wish that your people were doing right now. And you will see that flow into you. And finally, I just want to say a huge thank you to Eric and Marina for everything that we do. Guys, we know these guys on a personal level, not just a business level, and they are so giving, so loving. I love your parents as well. They're like the coolest and most amazing people that I've ever met. And so you can see where their love for people and their compassion comes through. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So they're just beautiful people, and I appreciate you having me on here.
Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. We love you guys too as well. But I want to close this with you touched on something again on your personal development and how important it is to feed your mind with the positive and protect your mind from the negative right now. It's truly a big deal. It's always important, but especially during this time, it's more important than ever. But I want to give everybody like a little glimpse of a perspective that inside of our profession, the amount of money that you're making as a distributor is a total reflection of how many lives you were able to touch and change. So if your check is still fairly small, that means that we have some work to do. That means that you need to develop those skills that you can approach more people in a more professional way. You need to expand your vision, expand your imagination and your leadership skills so you can help that team to grow and see a bigger vision and be more productive. And if you're already making 7 or even high 6s, 7-figure incomes, first of all, I want to congratulate you, because it's amazing. That means that you helped so many people around the world to live their best lives and live their dreams. But I have a challenge for all of you. Don't stop just because your bills are paid. Don't stop because you have the food on the table and you have the fancy home or the fancy car or whatever it is. Make sure that you bring as many people, lift as many people up as much as you possibly can, because now when you got to that level of success, you know what it takes. You have the mindset, you have the vision, you have the skills, you know how to articulate, you know how to face those fears. You can show and help many people to do the same thing that you did. So don't stop. Once you get to the top of the mountain, the view is amazing and beautiful, it's breathtaking. But when you're the only one who can enjoy it, it's not so fun. So make sure to bring as many people as you possibly can with you through your leadership, through your work. Face your fears, if not for yourself, but for millions of people who are going to bed every single night praying for a solution, and you just have one. So I want to encourage all of you to become a badass leader, to become a badass mom, to become a badass husband, or whatever it is for you. Step into your true potential, because you absolutely can, and the world needs you more than ever right now. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some value from this live. We definitely, Jessica and I, we had a lot of fun. So I hope you got some value as well. So stay safe, be healthy, and we love you very much. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.